Hare Krishna, everyone. It's very nice to be with all of you in this chilly end of winter. Well, actually, we're in spring now, officially, morning. And the best way to welcome the sunshine is by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Much of the city is sound asleep. It's my favorite time of the day to drive in this city because the traffic's horrible in Delhi, but in the morning, I could just drive all morning around and around. But the darshan of your deities is simply extraordinary. I often say this everywhere I go, but it just, Krishna consciousness just keeps getting better and better. If you stick to the straight and narrow, Eke Kununandana, you fix your mind on Golok Vrindavan, then as you make progress, it's just more and more wonderful. And Krishna reciprocates with our humble efforts to serve him. And one of those reciprocations is his darshan. Archa Vigraha. Prabhupada said one time, Archa Vigraha, of course, means the deity, but he said Archa Vigraha is the most merciful form of Krishna. Because he never leaves. He stays. Krishna comes, Krishna goes, once in a day of Brahma. But the Murti stays, and you're very fortunate here. You're very blessed, because these are perhaps the most extraordinary deities I've seen in my travels around the world. Ordinary Thai, it's like they're there, and their pose, and whoever carved them is a master craftsman, and it's just extraordinary. They're just right in the midst of some kirtan in Navadvip, and Radha and Krishna is just overwhelming. They're big deities, and they're just so gorgeous. Radha is super excellent. So just stay here your whole life. You don't need to go anywhere. Just stay here and serve these beautiful deities, and your life will be perfect. So I've been asked to speak from Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam. Grant means the Shastra, as you know. Grantaraj, the king of scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, because it ultimately deals with Amala Bhakti, pure devotion, as exhibited by the Brajavasis in nearby Vrindavan. You're so lucky. You have Radha Damodar here, and you drive 2 hours, and you see Radhasham Sundar in Vrindavan. If you don't become Krishna conscious in this lifetime, something's wrong. You've got all the stimuli. There's a chapter in Nectar Devotion. Stimulation for ecstatic love. Those things that stimulate or awaken that bhav, that devotion that's already there in our hearts. We don't have to look elsewhere. That bhava, that love for the divine couple, Radha and Krishna, it's eternally in the heart, but it's covered now by lifetimes of material enjoyment. We have to cheto dharpa to cleanse it away by chanting the holy names. So you have that opportunity here with these beautiful deities. So Srimad Bhagavatam, you're in the first canto, 9th chapter, text 32. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'll just recite the verse because a little later I have an appointment in the parliament. I'm going to meet some of the parliament officials and tell them about ISKCON and Krishna consciousness. So time's a little short for me, so I'll just quote the verse here. Shibhishma uvacha iti matir upa kalpita vichunena Bhagavati Satvata Pungare Vibhumi Svashukam Ubhagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritim Upayeshu Yad Bhava Prabhaha. Translation. Bhishma Dev said, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Shri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although from him only the material world is created." So we'll do part of Prabhupada's purport. Because Bhishma Dev was a statesman, the head of the Kuru dynasty, a great general and a leader of Kshatriyas, his mind was strewn over with so many subjects, like temple president. And his thinking, feeling, and willing were engaged in different matters. Now, in order to achieve pure devotional service, he wanted to invest all powers of thinking, feeling, and willing entirely in the Supreme Being, Lord Krishna. He is described herein as the leader of the devotees and all-powerful. Although Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, he himself descends to earth to bestow upon his pure devotees the boon of devotional service. He descends sometimes as Lord Krishna as he is, and sometimes as Lord Chaitanya. Both are leaders of the pure devotees. Pure devotees of the Lord have no desire other than service of the Lord, and therefore they are called Sattvata. The Lord is the chief amongst such Sattvas. Bhishma Dev, therefore, had no other desires, unless one is purified from all sorts of material desires, the Lord does not become one's leader. Desires cannot be wiped out, but they have only to be purified. That is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord himself, that he gives his instructions from within the heart of a pure devotee who is constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. Amagyan timidandasya ginangana shalakaya chakshrimilitam jena tasman siri Shri Chaitanya Madhavishtam Shnapitam Jena Bhutale Shvayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Svavadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare So this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam mentions Swami Bhagavan, Krishna's appearance in this world. He's avatari. It means he's the source of all the unlimited avatars. And he comes regularly, either personally or as his various incarnations. Ite cham sa kalo pungsha krishnashtu Bhagavan Swayam. And actually, it's just a display of ultimate compassion that he comes to this world. This material world has been elaborated on by Krishna himself in his Gita, his words of the Gita. Dukkhalayam shashvatam. He summarizes. Dukkhalayam shashvatam. Elegance is truth spoken concisely. Not a long-winded lecture, but something short to the point. Dukkhalayam shashvatam. If only we could take that to heart. This world is a temporary place full of suffering. So then what? Find an alternative. If something's not working, if my microphone stops working, it's buzzing and going in and out, what do? Tolerate? No. I find an alternative. I asked the engineer, sound engineer, give me another microphone. So if our pursuit of happiness in this world, which is the intrinsic nature of the soul, to enjoy, but with Krishna, but if it's not working, in fact, not working very well at all, or as Kaviraj Goswami says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the concept of good and bad in this world is wrong. It's all bad. This is sadhu. He goes right to the point. It's all bad. So then what? Just tolerate and keep, trying to squeeze some water out of a rock? No. You look for an alternative. And what is the alternative? Back home, back to Godhead. Because when you get back home, back to Godhead, all problems are solved. There's a very strong word we have in English, panacea. Panacea. Those of you who are English majors, you'll know this word, panacea. It means a solution to all problems. But it's just a dream in this world. If someone, through science, through technology, the humanities, no matter what you do, you can't adjust the basic realities of this world. Birth, disease, old age, and death. So therefore, Narottam Das Thakur, one of our great saints, one of my heroes actually, he says, here I am in the middle of a Holocaust, trying to enjoy myself. Hello? So an intelligent person, he takes up Krishna consciousness, which is the ultimate solution. Why is it the ultimate solution? Because if you become Krishna conscious and you go back home, back to Godhead, Krishna says in one of the 700 verses of the Gita, you never take birth again. It's so simple. It's very complex, it's very bewildering, it's very confusing, this world, and people don't know how to take the spiritual life. Our forefathers, it was great penance, great austerity, study of the scriptures. Some sadhus say to master the Vedas, it takes 3 births to read all the Vedas. Who has time? We hardly have time to brush our teeth and take a shower to make it to work on time through the Delhi traffic. So who has time? Therefore, Harinam, Harinam, Harinama eva kevalam, Kalo, Nasteva, 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 Bhatyanam Yatham. So, first and foremost, before we enter the 10th canto and we begin to understand the playground of God, Vrindavan and Radha and Krishna and their very beautiful pastimes. First we have to become convinced of the futility of material existence. It's step by step. So this material world has been compared to a prison. There's 4, typically you think of a prison with 4 walls. So there's 4 walls, inescapable walls in this world. Again, birth, disease, old age, and death. Science and technology, they can make life a little easier, but they can't help us get out of the prison of material existence. The only hope is mercy. Only if the Lord is kindest upon us does he ask Durga Ma. She's the warden, the warden in the prison. She's a lady. The warden in the prison's a lady. She's an expansion of Yoga Maya from the spiritual world. She has great powers. If she wants to release you, you can be released. Otherwise, birth after birth after birth after birth. But still, although it's such a horrible place, horribla, Prabhupada would use the word, he'd say horribla, horribly, horribla. This Bengali, his English wasn't perfect. It was perfect, but sometimes pronouncing horribla, horribla. He said one time to my godbrother, his secretary, I did not want to come to this horribla place, but Krishna asked me to come, so I came. Horrible place. Chanaka Pandit, he's addressing a traveler in Niti Shastra. He says to the traveler, don't go to a place where there's not a flowing river, where there's water. Don't go to a place where there's not a good physician, good doctor, because padam yad vipanam natesham. There's danger at every step. So sometimes we need a doctor. So don't go to a place where there's not a qualified physician. Don't dare go to a place where there's not a pious king. Don't go to North Korea. Don't go to a place where there's not a pious king. And don't go to a place where people are inimical towards you. Like, don't go to a place where people don't like you or hate you. So what is this material world? This is a place where people have turned their face away from Krishna. Bahir mukha. Mukha means face, so in Sanskrit, bahir means you. If you're speaking to someone and I'm speaking, look at me. So we've turned, Jagadananda Pandit in Prema Vivarta, he uses this analogy. Analogies make philosophical concepts more clear. So don't go to a place where people have turned their face away from you. So here in the material world, everyone to greater or lesser degree has turned their face from God. We left his association. I heard a tape recently, Prabhupada said, when we're falling from grace, when we're falling from our spiritual position, the Lord accompanies us for a short distance and begs us not to leave. Can you imagine? My dear Jiva, my dear spirit soul, please don't go. I'm going. No, please, it's the material world, it's a horrible place. I'm going. Please, I'm out of here. And we leave. But he's so kind that as we leave, he enters into our heart and accompanies us through our sojourn, through the material world, life after life after life after life. Therefore, he's considered the best friend of the living entity. A friend in need is a friend indeed, but we don't feel the need for that friend until we come to the point of just being frustrated with our efforts here. And we turn to that friend and, okay, I want to go home. So the super soul in the heart, he directs that pious soul, that person who's getting frustrated and looking for some spiritual alternative. He directs that person to a bona fide spiritual organization, wherein one can find a proper representative of that organization, of that spiritual tradition, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual master, to guide one home. Down through the ages, there's been so many bona fide spiritual institutions. And we're fortunate to be what we would consider the best of the best. The Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Sampradaya. You know, we have some special affinity, some special affection, because we know. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Shangopanga Shaparshadam Yagnai Sankatam Prayar Shantihi Shumedashaha. That in the age of Kali, that person who appeared bluish black like a monsoon cloud in Dwapara Yuga, Swayam Bhagavan, Avatari Krishna, he's again appeared just very quickly, the next age. Very quickly. He left at the end of Dwapara Yuga, Krishna left at the end of Dwapara Yuga, and when Krishna left, Kali Yuga began. As soon as Krishna departed this world to go back home, to Vaikuntha, to Goloka, that moment, the scene changed. Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga lasts for some, 428,000, 32,000 years? But only 500 years into the age, Krishna came again. Like he just left and then you're back again. Right? He left. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's back. But this time, he's back as the golden avatar. And he's even more merciful than he was in Dapuri Yuga. Because he's introducing the Yuga Dharma of chanting Hare Krishna. And in this Yuga Dharma, there's no hard and fast rules. Of course, we have our regulative principles. But as far as chanting Hare Krishna, you can chant anywhere, anytime. Other yajnas in previous ages, there had to be a whole process of purification and a bath and then this and that. And not in Kali Yuga. Anytime, anywhere. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So as we know, the traditional Bhagavad Gita class, Paritranaya Sadhanam Vinashaya Dushkritam Dharma Samstapanartaya Samdhavami Yuge Yuge. It's very clear why he comes. To deliver his devotees, to kill those miscreants who are harassing devotees or impeding religious principles, demons, and reestablishing religious principles. So in that process, he delivers so many devotees. ISKCON, I can tell you, spreading like wildfire all over the world. In Russia, we have tens of thousands of devotees. In South Africa, we have many black African devotees. Zulus. Zulu. They hear the Maha Mantra, they love to dance, the Africans. They dance, they sing, they love prasadam. Many are very intelligent. This is the great miracle of Mahaprabhu all over the world. So devotees are being made. But when the Lord comes, he also kills demons. Sometimes I meet people in the West. What kind of God do you have? He kills people. Our Jesus Christ saves people. I said, well, Krishna's killing is also a way of saving, because when he kills the demons, he stops their sinful activities. That's nice. He stops their sinful activities. And by killing big asuras like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kamsa, they get mukti. They get liberation. By the touch of the nails of the Lord, they get liberation. So it's okay. Krishna, it's this form of mercy. So I try to explain like that. It's okay to kill demons because they're impeding religion in this world and they're harassing devotees. It's said in the Krishna book that a saintly person can tolerate all kinds of difficulty, like the traffic in Delhi. Sorry. A learned person can do his duty without awaiting favorable circumstances. A devotee can sacrifice everything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a heinous person like Kamsa can act in any sinful way. So those people have to be removed. Kamsa was prepared to kill his own sister. In Vedic culture, the brother is one of the protectors of the sister, isn't it? The girls are protected. In the event of the death of the father, the elder brother takes charge of the sister, makes sure she grows up in a safe environment, she's educated. The brother finds her a nice husband, watches over her throughout the life. This Vedic culture is so nice. Kamsa was prepared to kill his own sister. Killing is actually the business of the demoniac. As delivery is the business of the Vaishnavas, killing is the business of people influenced by demoniac nature. They kill animals, they kill birds, they kill insects, they even kill their own children in the womb. Abortion. It's a hot topic in the world. But we have the science of Krishna consciousness. We know that the soul is there from the moment of conception. Life doesn't come from matter. Life comes from life. From the very moment of conception, the soul is there. Otherwise, how's the embryo growing? Dead things don't grow. Non-living things don't grow. Only living things grow because of the presence of the soul. So when you commit abortion, you're a murderer. Hot topic. People are confused. We're not confused because we have philosophy to guide us through life. We have Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. We know what is this world, and we know what is the spiritual world. So when the situation gets too much out of hand, the Lord comes and He takes care of such people. No one challenges the doctor when he takes the cancer virus out of the body. Cancer's a living virus. It's eating you up, yum, yum, yum. Eating up your organs. Pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer. It's a virus. It's a living entity. You know, when your father goes in for an operation for prostate cancer, are you in the waiting room? Oh, the poor viruses. Doesn't anyone care about the viruses? They're killing the viruses. It's like, what? Don't kill the virus. But the virus is killing your father. Oh, the poor cancer. There's no movement for, like we have movements in America, save the whales. There's a movement like save the dolphins. Okay, that's good. What about save the cows? They don't think like that so much. Some sentiment is there. But there's no movement. Save the cancer viruses. No, it's demoniac. So when there's demons like Ravana, they have to be removed. Ravana's name means he who makes the universe scream. Ah! The Bhagavatam describes Hiranyakashipu as like meningitis in the head of the universe. Meningitis is a very serious... I actually had meningitis when I was young, spinal meningitis. I was 6 years old. I was in the hospital for 4 months. There was no drugs in those days. And they were experimenting with different drugs. And I was part of an experimental program. Yeah, there were 5 boys in the ward who all had meningitis. And my mother agreed, a trial. Each of us was given a different antibiotic or combination of antibiotics. The other 4 boys died, and I lived. I got the right antibiotic. But my mother was lamenting, oh, they're killing the meningitis virus in my son. No. So these people have to be removed. So Krishna, sometimes these asuras become so powerful. They can conquer the 14 worlds. So who can remove them? Krishna comes. Dukkalaya Vashashvata. He's so kind. But he's also kind to them because they get delivered. But we don't want that kind of deliverance. We become a big demon and then Krishna kills us and then we get moksha. Or like Putana. When Putana was killed, as you know, she went to Golok. Krishna's so kind. She didn't just get moksha liberation. She went back to Goloka and became a nurse in the family of Mother Yashoda. It's an interesting part of the Bhagavatam. But out of all these reasons, delivering devotees, killing demons, re-establishing Dharma by speaking Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada pointed out that the Lord's appearance for his devotees is the most important. Because blood is thicker than water. Family attachment is stronger than anything else. I was reading the other day that the whole economy is going on in the principle. People are working. The economy is there to maintain the family. Family first. Blood is thicker than water. But what's the greater family of God? Every creature is created by Krishna. He's the seed-giving father of every living entity. So we're all really one family. So when your family's in trouble, you'll go to any means to protect them, to save them. So Krishna goes to any means to come and deliver us. We may forget God, but he'll never forget us. It's said that a woman and an elephant never forget an offense made to them. Is that true, ladies? If you offend a woman, that woman's nature is she doesn't easily forget. You have to say, I'm so, Mataji, I'm sorry. Okay. Those of you who are husbands, you know, if you upset your wife, sometimes it takes a few days for things to calm down. I was a grihastha for 11 years. I'm speaking from experience here. It's no offense because our ladies are Vaishnavis. They're above the modes of nature. But it's said that a woman and an elephant never forget an offense. Actually, there's a nice story. I can't call it a pastime. It's a story that there was once an elephant trainer, and this is maybe 100 years ago, he had a group of elephants, and one elephant gave birth, but it was just too much for him, to take care of the big elephants and the little elephants. So he sold the baby elephant at a very young age. He sold it. You don't do that. It's like dogs. If you raise dogs and they have puppies, the puppies have to stay with the mother for 3 months before they go away, because they need mother's milk, they need mother's love and care. So those who raise dogs, I don't know how I know this from some book I read when I was a kid, but mother has to keep the puppies for 3 months, and then you can give them away to friends or sell them or whatever. So baby elephants are very attached to their mothers. Elephants are some of the most intelligent creatures on earth. And he gave this baby elephant away to a circus. And the circus people didn't take really, good care of the elephant. They made it work from a young age, just to beat it, etc. But fast forward, I think around 20 years or something, the elephant grew up, and it was part of a parade. The circus would rent the elephants out for parades. Oh, we have parades in India, like in Rajasthan, they have parades. So this elephant was part of a parade one day in one major city here in India. And the original person, who owned the baby elephant and gave him away, he was watching the parade. And as the elephant was going down the road, he saw that person, and he remembered that this person sold me, took me away from my mother. Elephants are very intelligent. This is the person that took me from my mother and gave me to these cruel people in the circus. The elephant charged straight for that crowd. Everyone ran, and the elephant ran after that original elephant trainer, picked him up, smashed him down, and stepped on his head and killed him. He remembered. Elephants and ladies. It's a little gross here, but they never forget an offense. So how does this story, what does it have to do with the class? I'm getting in trouble here, not going to cook for me today. Our ladies are Vaishnavis. But the point is that just as an elephant never forgets an offense, Krishna never forgets his devotee. And everyone's a devotee. George Harrison said, the Beatles, everyone's a devotee of Krishna. Some know it and some don't. You know it, but most of Delhi doesn't know it. So we have to remind them. And you can remind them by bringing them to this beautiful temple, because as soon as they see Radha Damodar, they're going to fall in love with Krishna. He's so beautiful. That's your duty. So Lord never forgets. And so when he comes, his first business is to liberate. Paritranaya sadhanam, not killing demons or establishing religious principles. His first business when he comes was to save his devotees. Just like when there's a danger, let's say there's you're in some coliseum somewhere, there's a cricket match or whatever, and there's a fire, a big fire. What do? You save your family first, isn't it? Mothers, they get their children. Fathers, they get their sons, and they grab them and they run out of the stadium. You don't go for the strangers. First you save your family, and if you're a good Samaritan, you go back in and try to bring some other people out of the burning Colosseum. So when Krishna comes to us, the first thing he does, where are my devotees? So it's good to be a devotee, because there's so many calamities in this world. So if Krishna comes, he'll recognize, all right, come, you come first. This is the one perk in being a devotee. When he comes, he'll rescue you first. So this is intelligence. Prabhupada said intelligence means to see things in the proper perspective. The futility of material existence and the positive alternative of going back home, back to Godhead, and taking up the particular process for the age. And in this age, it's not penance, austerity, study of the Shastras. It's just singing, dancing, and taking prasadam up to the neck. Prabhupada said, Mayavadi philosophy, Mayavadis, no, I won't eat any sandesh. It's about you big. I have to control my senses. So, just some little biryani. But Prabhupada said, Vaishnavas will eagerly take many, many sandeshas, because by taking prasadam, we go back home, back to Godhead. So what a wonderful process. Singing, dancing, and feasting. I heard Prabhupada say one time, who would not accept this process? It takes a little intelligence, of course, to discern the nature of this world and this alternative. This movement's actually for intelligent persons. One might say, why aren't all the intelligent people here today? How many people live in the city? I think 25 million. And we have about 250 here. There's lots of intelligent people in Delhi. Why aren't they here? Because Gita says their intelligence is stolen by illusion. They cannot perceive the real value of this movement. But you can, so all glories to all of you. So stick to the process, keep chanting. Krishna's coming every day, actually. He's coming every day. We say he comes in the day of Brahma, but for devotees, he's so eager to take us home, he comes every day. How does he come? Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. There's no difference between Krishna and his name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. He's appearing in your life at any moment where you chant his holy names. Prabhupada said one time, if you've got time, then chant Hare Krishna. Better to be in the association of the Supreme Lord than associated with the modes of nature in Delhi. Even if you're stuck in traffic, oh, here we go again. Even if you're stuck in traffic, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. Well, then chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And you won't be stuck in traffic. You'll be in Vaikuntha. Kunta means a place of anxiety. And Vaikuntha in Sanskrit, if you put this vai before, it cancels the meaning. Vaikuntha, it means that place where there's no anxiety. As Jesus said, to be in this world but not of this world. Like the lotus flower is a little bit above the water, always. The flower, by nature's right. So you can be transcendental even to Delhi traffic. This Swami, he came to our temple and all he talked about was the traffic in Delhi. I have to leave before the traffic. I'm always making plans, What's the traffic like now? I have an appointment here, a class here. It's like, what's the traffic? So even if we're stuck in the traffic, Krishna will come in and get us. I met someone the other day, he said, okay, I'm a Christian, he said, and I have deep respect for Christians, any bona fide spiritual religion. He said, but Swamiji, God's not going to come here. I mean, I heard your lecture. You said some jumbling words, dukulaya shashasha or something, and you said the material world It's a place of, it's temporary and full of suffering. So why would God come here? Like sometimes you may see a gentleman in a bad part of town. You say, what's a person like you doing in a place like this bad part of town? So he said, it's logical, right? Why would God come here? He said God's in heaven with the angels. Everyone's in love with him. Why is he going to come here? So I told a little story, a real story, about Akbar. Akbar was the emperor of much of India actually, sometime in the 1700s. And his seat was here in Delhi, Akbar. He was unlike other Muslim rulers in that he was very favorable towards the Hindu population, in particular the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. He actually gave land for Rupa Goswami to construct a temple for Govindaji. It's a whole story. So he was kind of broad-minded. So one day he was walking in one of the nice parks in Delhi, and he was Birbal, one of his chief ministers. So he said to Birbal, Birbal, tell me something about your Krishna. So Birbal, as chief minister, was a Hindu. He quoted Pariturnaya Sadhanam Vinashaya Dushnam, that God comes to this world. And Akbar said, no. Allah. He's not going to come. He's not such a fool like you and me, Birbal, that he would come to this material world. But Birbal said, no, he comes. In our Bhagavad Gita, he said he comes every day, because he's talking about a day of Brahma. Right? Calculation by the demigods is more important in our time. So he comes. And Akbar said, no, he won't come. Why would he come? At that very moment, Akbar's grandchild was playing in the park. He was trying to catch frogs. It's a true story. And he fell in the pond. He was like 4 or 5, and like most Indian people, he didn't know how to swim. It's not a criticism. It's just you don't see any Indian Olympic swimmers. So he didn't know how to swim. So he started drowning. And Akbar, he had, so many guards. He's the emperor. He's like, when Narendra Modi goes somewhere, there's a whole motorcade and there's jeeps and there's guns, you have to protect your leader. So there were so many soldiers around Akbar, and everyone was witnessing that the boy was drowning. Any one of them could have run and dragged him out of the water. But Akbar, he took off his helmet, jewels, took off his heavy robe inlaid with all kinds of silver and gold, took off his shoes, actually stripped down to his underwear, the king, in public, stripped down to his underwear, and he ran. And he was quite expert. He was, in one sense, an athlete, you could say, Akbar. He's very good, physique was very strong. He's a hunter and so forth and so on. He just dove into the water. He dove down to the bottom. With his little finger, he picked that boy up, swam to the top, put him on the bank, came out, pressed the chest, how we do, and the water came out and he saved the boy. Grandpa! And then Akbar just stood up and went back, and the servants are like dusting off his clothes and his helmet, and they dressed him, put him back. And then, for an emperor who rules millions of people and fights in battle, what is it to save a little boy from drowning? So he just walked himself. So as they're walking along, Birbal's there, he said, so Akbar, now do you understand why Krishna comes to this world? Akbar says, what are you talking about? Now I understand why Krishna comes to this world. Why God comes to this world. This was a philosophical talk. No, but do you understand now why God comes to this world? Akbar said, what do you mean? He said, well, Akbar, you're the emperor. You could have sent any one of your soldiers, your family members, to save the grandson, but in your heart you wanted to make sure it happened, so you did it yourself. So in the same way, although the Lord may send Muhammad, he may send Jesus, he may send somebody, sometimes out of love for his devotee, he comes himself and saves him. So Akbar said, very interesting. And Birbal said, there's one incarnation. He came for one devotee. And Akbar said, your God came for one devotee? Yes. His name was Prahlad Maharaj. Bhagavan Narasimhadev ki. So if God will come for one pure devotee, just see how merciful he is. You may think, I live amongst many devotees, how's anyone going to ever know about me? No. If you become pure, then Krishna will come and save you. That's one instruction from that pastime. One incarnation for one devotee. Nrsimhadev came, he killed Hiranyakashipu, took his bath in Sringapali, in Mayapur, on his way back, and went back down. Lakshmi said, where were you? Oh, just had a little business to do. But you were gone just a few minutes. I know, but you can read about it in the Srimad Bhagavatam. You're also in that book. Like this, the pastimes of the Lord are just so wonderful. So, yes, thank you for inviting me here today. I just can't get out of my mind your beautiful deities. It's just so... I never saw Gauritai like that. Kartamashi? See how beautiful Gauritai are. They're grand deities. Look how big they are. And Radharani is just, oh my gosh. You don't even have to go to Vrindavan. You could just stay here. This is an awesome Vrindavan. But I would like to encourage you to go to Vrindavan because it's such a special place. And to encourage you, I brought one book. It's called The Sacred Forests of Vrindavan. And specifically the western bank of the Jamuna. It's a parikrama guide. When you go to Vrindavan, sometimes, we don't just, to go to Vrindavan doesn't just, we don't go to like a tourist to see. A saintly person, he sees through his ears, not through his eyes. When you go to a holy place, you have to hear about the holy place from holy people who live there. That's how you see. So this is a parikrama guide. And we put this together. This is a compilation of a number of my lectures about Vrindavan, because during the, it's a really bad word, COVID pandemic, my mother would wash my mouth out with soap when I said bad words. So COVID, it's a 4-letter word. I was stuck, how can I say stuck? I was in Braj. Radharani slammed the door. I'd been traveling for 52 years around the world. And I was in Vrindavan when your government closed the borders. You couldn't go in or out. And you didn't even want to go out of your apartment to get COVID. So for 3 years I was in a room in Vrindavan. So what did I do? I studied all the books I'd collected for so many years. But sannyasis are meant to share. So I thought I'll give lectures on Vrindavan. And to date we've given over 500 lectures only about Vrindavan, just Braj. I'm just a mouthpiece, I'm nobody special. And I took guidance from Dinabandhu Prabhu, he's my parikrama guru, Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj, the lectures of Bhakti Churu Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Goswami, some of my senior godbrothers. And I visited some of the saints there. And I meticulously went through, Garuda Purana and the books of the Goswamis, and I'd always consult with the GBC Shastric committee. But it's probably the most complete parikrama book that you can imagine. I put everything into it. So we took about 30 or 40 of those lectures, and we put them together, and it discusses the pastimes on the western banks of the Jamuna. And next year we're going to come out with a similar book about the eastern bank of the Jamuna, then about the acharyas, and then about those things that stimulate love for Radha and Krishna. It'll be a series of about 25 or 30 books. I don't even know if I'll live that long, but they'll be published. So this is the first in the series, The Sacred Forest of Vrindavan. And it's very beautifully done. And here's Vrinda Devi out at Kamyavan. There's nice photographs as well. And it's like, it's the kind of book they call a coffee table book. We don't drink coffee, but I can't think of a better word. You know, nice book that you have on your table when your friends come to your apartment or your home to visit. There's a nice book while you're doing cooking or something. They can look through a book. So this is a book all about Vrindavan, about each place, about the pastimes that took place there, the people, the Brajabasis who were involved, Radha, Krishna, Krishna Balaram, Raktak, Sridham, Lalita, Vishaka, the different mellows, the different moods. You know, there's different ways to approach Krishna, as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, as a lover. It's all discussed in detail, but in a way that's understandable to us aspiring devotees like that. So we're on actually a book distribution tour, but the books are available to you. They're a little expensive. They're 2,500 rupees. It's a lot of money. And I'm not here to make money. I'm a sannyasi. I don't have a bank account. I don't have a checkbook. I don't even have a rupee to my name. I just go door to door, house to house. I live. People feed me. If I need a charter, they'll buy me a charter. I don't need money. I have everything. I have the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare But this is a service to the Vaishnavas because I so much appreciated the COVID for me was like a silver lining in a dark cloud. I got to spend 3 years in Vrindavan. And I kind of fell in love in Vrindavan. I'm still a very neophyte devotee, but I could see through I could see through the eyes of the acharyas what a special place it is. So I wanted to give you a little piece of Vrindavan. Like when you go to Braj, you take this book with you. When you go to Radhakund, when you go to Govardhan, you just open it up and you read about those places. And there'll be more books like this, but this is the first. And we're selling them. We have a book table over there. We're selling them. So if you'd like, you could purchase one before I leave. And then we have, this is the opening part here. And there's a little tag here. What do you call this, a stickum or something? Yeah, I'm kind of out of touch. If you write your name here very clearly, then I'll sign the book. Signatures for the author and a date so you can remember this nice little program that we had speaking about the mercy of Krishna, the beauty of your deities, and the glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. And if you don't go to Vrindavan soon, you can read this in the privacy of your home. It'll be just like you're in Vrindavan. Because Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting about Krishna, brings Krishna Shmaranam, remembrance. Like one day Bhaktivinoda Thakur woke up and he said, I woke up and I saw my house had become like Goloka Vrindavan. Because he was such a devotee that everything he did was dedicated to Krishna. So this book will help bring Krishna into your home. You put it in a special place, put some flowers in front of it every morning, because it's all about Braj. So we have our team over there. How much time do we have before the... Huh? Half an hour, yeah. Okay, who am I meeting today?
Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha.
Huh?
Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha.
Who's that? Deputy Chairman of the?
Rajya Sabha.
Is that an important person? Yeah. They said he's going to be the next vice president. I don't know.
You're more important, Maharaj.
Yeah. But I want to give him a book about Vrindavan. So he knows, I said, you should become like Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira ruled this city a long time ago. He was completely Krishna conscious. So become like Yudhishthira. Become like Ramachandra, like the kingdom of Ram, right? That's so special. Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! And your beautiful temple in Ayodhya. All right, so I'll sit here. Anybody wants to take the book? We've got a half hour, right?
Yes.
I'll sign the book. Thank you so much. Please, please invite me back again, if only just to take darshan of beautiful Indradyumna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.